Well, good morning, everyone. God bless you. Hope you're having yourself a wonderful Saturday. It's Saturday morning, you all. I've got some work I'm going to do in the shop right here. But while I'm doing this work in the shop, I'm going to show you guys how the pioneers made hominy. How many of you folks like hominy? I'm not too particularly take too much of a liking to it, but I do know that the stuff was presented to the Europeans when they come across in their boats over here from Europe. The Indians were making hominy, the pioneers learned how to make it, and then the Appalachian people learned how to make it. In this video, you guys, I'm going to show you how to make hominy from scratch, okay? So, first thing we got to have, guys, for this particular video is we need some good, clean wood ashes. And I'm going to dip them right out of the stove. And preferably the wood ashes that you've burned down, guys, is hard wood. But you can use soft wood, okay? But hardwood's going to work a whole lot better. Now I'm going to take these ashes right here. I'm going to get that little can full right there, okay? That's about a half a quart of wood ashes. Now what we're doing right here is we're going to make lye out of these ashes. But we're not going to do it the old-fashioned way like you've seen me do in other videos. Because the pioneer women figured out that you don't have to make a batch of lye by pouring water through your ashes and letting it run through there to make your lye, which I've got several different videos, you guys, on my channel. If you want to learn how to make lye, look at soap making videos and how to make lye videos. I've got 3 different videos on there how to make that, okay? So I'm gonna take these and filter them and clean them up so that there's no metal. You don't want any metal in it or anything like that. You just want really good, clean dust ashes. You don't use no charcoal because charcoal will not have any of the lye in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the fire built in the stove, get the shop really warm because in here it's 20 degrees, and then we will get started on this video. What we're going to do is like Grandma used to do it. Instead of creating lye and having it sitting in a bucket somewhere, Granny would make a weak lye solution this way I'm going to show you right here. She'd take these wood ashes, it's almost a quart. Take out the stuff that's not good. Your larger particles will come to the top. Just go ahead and just pick them right off. That's stuff that you know that you don't want. All right, cool. So, stuff we don't need. Several different ways of doing it. All right. Now, we have enough ashes right here, you all, in that sock to make lye. So when we introduce this to the water over there, I'm gonna try to tie this up. Well, let's do it a different way, you all. Let's just do it like this. So all we're gonna do is you seen me go down to the creek. The ice on that was 4 inches thick. Let's go ahead and put that put that sock right in the water. Now what this does, apparently, is help break down the outer shell. Let me get the corn over here. It helps break down the outer shell of your corn, you guys. Stuff don't like to cooperate when it's cold, does it? Well, I know one thing, that stove's feeling good. All right. Now, depending on how many people they were going to feed, here's what they did. Per person, they would take a handful of corn. If they had 10 people to feed, they'd put 10 handfuls of corn in there. So what I'm going to pretend like, you guys, is we got that many people to feed right there. Now, of course, our corn that we have is hybrid corn. It's not like the corn that come from Mexico, because I think that's where they say it came from. That the Indians from Mexico and on up through here, we're using maize or corn. That's what it is. Like I say, we have hybrid corn. The reason they started tinkering with the Indian corn, which that colored corn that you can buy, is because the way that they work on it, it makes it get bigger, and you can get a more quantity of corn and bigger grains of corn. Okay, so we're going to take that corn, pick all the trash out of it, by the way, which you really don't have to worry that much about it. But we're going to take it in a few minutes. When that water gets hot, we're going to pour it over into the pot, and we're going to start that boiling. But I want the lye solution to start becoming, or getting in the water before we do that. Good, you all. So, what Grandma used to do, and I didn't do it Granny's way completely, okay? Because I had to go this morning and buy this corn here, by the way. She would take her corn and she would go ahead and set it in the pot in that good warm water, and she'd leave it in there overnight. That would speed up the process, okay? So, but since I'm going to be here in the workshop today, we're going to go through the long process to do this. So we'll go ahead and dump the corn right in there. And we will get that stuff to cooking. And of course, see what my coffee's looking like in there. I'm gonna let that cook a minute or two more right there. Daggone, that feels good. I don't know about your neck of the woods, but man, we've been having 2 weeks of nothing but frigid weather, just about like Alaska weather, right here in the state of Virginia. Cold, cold, cold. You see me chopping that ice in that creek there. That ice is about 3 inches thick. But that's the way you do it. If you use distilled water, that water is very, very soft. It works better than hard water does, believe it or not. Distilled water is just very, very, it's corrosive, as a matter of fact. That is hot, you all. Now, you guys traditionally would have been doing this in, their own little jars that they had made from clay. Clay jars is what they made this stuff in, because they never had any type of metal things to cook with until the Europeans. Anyway, they took this stuff, and Grandma would make grits out of it. She would make cakes out of it. I mean, corn cakes. And it was a way of processing corn without having to grind it. Because if there was no grinding mill, you couldn't grind no corn. So you would have to pound that corn up with a rock on a rock, which wasn't no fun for anybody to do. You can imagine having 10 people to feed and going out there and taking a hollow stone like the Indians used to do, put that stuff in that hole in that rock, taking another rock or a piece of wood and pounding that stuff until it was fine enough to be cornmeal. So a simpler way of processing it was making it into hominy. And then they could make it into grits and hominy cakes and things like that. All right, you see how that's come to a boil? That's exactly what we're looking for. Let that just hard roll and boil the whole time, okay? Now we will have to add water to that, okay? So make sure you got some soft water, if possible, like you just seen me get out of the creek. Now, you will notice if you've got really good wood ashes, this smells like lye, you guys. It stinks, okay? It sort of smells like a dead rat a little bit. Do not breathe the steam off of this right here, you all. That will be harmful to your lungs. Now, you will notice as you boil this, if your lye is good, your water is going to turn red, okay? And that's what you're looking for. Don't worry about it, that water is going to turn red. And you don't have to mess with this very much, you all. I was just taking a look at it. We'll continue to let her cook. Just make sure you pay attention to it and add you some water. So guys, you can use garden lime, just plain old garden lime. Just take you a handful of it, put it in your water, and it'll do the same thing as your lye does. Make sure when you're using this stuff, do not use it with aluminum, because it's going to corrode aluminum and cut the aluminum apart while you're cooking it, okay? So if you've ever watched any of my videos about making soap, one of the mistakes that I made was just dump that actual soap out into an aluminum pan, and it immediately turned it black, okay? So you can't use aluminum. You can do it in glass, of course, but I'm just doing it in a cast iron pot this morning to show you guys how to do it. All right, you all, that stuff's been boiling for about 45 minutes. I just tested a couple of grains of corn a while ago. The stuff is getting soft. Now what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to take this sock of ashes out of here. Okay, That's what it looks like. And it is red in color because we're getting all the lye out of those ashes. Now there's a point, in other words, there will come a time when this won't make any more lye, okay? It's created all the lye that particular bunch of ashes can make. So you don't have to leave that in there. You can go ahead and get that out of there. Take your corn, take a look at it. It should be very swollen and about to pop open, okay? So that's exactly what we want it to happen. Pay close attention to it. Do not let it boil dry, okay? All right, you all, so I took the sock out. I went out to the creek out there, cleaned the sock out, got rid of those ashes. They were very, very slimy. That's what you're looking for. Now, I added a little bit of water to the pot. We're about an hour and 15 minutes into this cook. And one of the telltale signs that you're looking for, you guys, is this stuff smells like hominy. Okay? It smells like hominy while it's cooking because now it is becoming hominy. I don't know how to pronounce that word in any other language, but just in a few minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to test it and see how easily the outside will come off of the inside. I guess that makes sense. But anyway, we will get rid of the water that it's boiling in. We will put this into clean water. We will boil it, put it into more clean water and boil it. And we will do that 4 times, guys, to get rid of the lye that's, that could be sticking to the grains of corn. What you want to do is you want to rinse it. And Grandma said to boil it or parboil it 4 or 5 times, okay? And this doesn't take long, okay? You simply add cold water to it, boil it for about 5 minutes, pour that off, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, because we will be in a smaller pot and it won't take that long to do. Then nice and hotter than a $2 pistol. There's a quart of corn. Okay. Coming apart really, really good. Let you guys see that just in a second. I'm going to get rid of this hot water, okay, so we don't get scalded. Now, while I was outside, you all, I just went ahead and got some really good, we got about 1 inch of snow the other night. It's really, really cold. I'm just going ahead and use that to parboil in, okay? So here's what the corn looks like, you guys, before the first rinse, okay? And of course, guys, it's really slimy, okay? Okay, guys, pour your water off, okay? Just like so. Now get rid of that water and pour some more in your pan. All right, you all. There's the third washing. You see that white thing right there in the center? That is the heart of your grain right there. That one little thing, okay? Now what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to put it back in the cast iron pot one more time. All right, you all, after all those water cleanings, what we're going to do is I cook this stuff one more time. Now I'm going to spoon it out into this sieve. It smells pretty good. It's time to grind this stuff up, you guys. Now at this point, you can actually eat this stuff like it is. But I don't prefer it that way, okay? If you were here, you could smell that right there. That smells exactly like hominy. And we've got, as far as quantity goes, we've got enough right here to make a cake for about 5 people. And one thing you want to do, you know, this corn right here that come from down there at the feed store is just plain old field corn, you guys. And it's not really a quality corn to feed the animals, but they'll eat it anyway. So that's good enough for that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grind this stuff up, you guys. Smells pretty good, and like I said, you can eat this corn just like it is. It's hominy, okay? But I want to make it into sort of like cakes, like Great Granny used to do. So we'll get rid of the liquid. We don't need that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I know you can't see that, but like I say, you can eat this corn. It's hominy, okay? So now, we're going to go through the process, you guys, of grinding this up, just like Grandma would have done, okay? I can tell you one thing, guys. They sure didn't pay the girls enough to do this right here. No wonder the guys run off somewhere and said, honey, you cook lunch. All right, you guys, what you should come up with is cakes, just like this right here. Now I didn't get every grain completely crushed, you guys, but here's what we got. This is how Granny did it, all right? This is how the Indians did it. I guess the more you pulverize, the finer it gets. But at this point, you can eat the stuff just like that right there. But what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to make cakes out of it, and I'm going to fry them right over here on the stove. Lay that right on there just like that. I'm going to make them a little bit smaller than that. that point there, when you grind them right after they come out of there, guys, they'll have enough moisture in them to hold them together, okay? So there that is. Like I say, you can take these things, guys, and you can completely dry them out and take them along as trail food, okay? So I said we had enough there to feed 5 people. We got enough here to feed about 6 people. At least a cake anyway, okay? There's 6 cakes, and I got a little bit left over right here. And of course, from old buddy Carolina Chris, we gotta have some Texas people. I ain't got a lot of fat added to them, you guys. The Indians would use some type of fat, and so did Granny. She'd mix lard with that, okay? All right, you all. A hominy cake. I'm impressed. Very, very good. It could use a little bit salt, and it could have used a little bit finer grinding, you guys. Like I say, they ain't paying them girls. Look, they wasn't paying them girls enough money. Yummy. Yep, I can see people sitting around 2,000 years ago without any electricity or anything else making these cakes to eat. It tastes almost like a tortilla. That's exactly how they done it, you guys, right there. Be honest with you, that right there is very, very good, especially with the hot sauce. So I hate to eat in front of you and not let you have any, but if you was here, I'd give you some, old boys and young girls. With that, you all, may the good Lord bless you. Hope you have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. Goodness gracious, that's good.